Hello and welcome to a special episode of Harmony Foundation presents Mother Teresa Memorial Awards 2019 and Harmony International Conference on Combating Contemporary Forms of Slavery, a platform recognizing and honoring the social crusaders for their exemplary work on the issues related to social justice and modern-day slavery. Harmony Foundation holds an international conference and identifies a relevant theme to be deliberated. This year's theme is combating contemporary forms of slavery, a practice that is still very real and widespread, affecting millions worldwide. Our experts shared their views on finding a solution to these problems.
We have our first panelist for the afternoon, Baroness Cox. She's been a member of the Parliament of the United Kingdom since 1983. She's also the founder and CEO of Humanitarian Aid Relief Trust. Please put your hands together for Baroness Cox.
Slavery today. It's estimated that there are at least 27 million men, women and children suffering some form of slavery today. There can be chattel slavery, there can be debt bondage, there can be forced labor, and it can be sex slavery and human trafficking. Let me say very briefly that we in Heart do work with slaves in different contexts, but we in Heart, we have rescued hundreds and hundreds of slaves from abducted women and children in the war in Sudan. We work with kids who've been abducted and forced to become child soldiers in northern Uganda. And we also work with victims of different kinds of slavery in Myanmar or Burma, forced labor, sexual slavery. For this kind of awful, terrible situation for your women and children and some boys in your country or worldwide with different forms of slavery. And so, just a little thought from Gandhi, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. It won't take place without you. We have to be the change. As together we all do something, we can have the great privilege of helping to make a difference for some of the people in our world today, and very especially those who are suffering slavery and forced labor. Thank you for letting me share some of the pain, the passion with you. Thank you.
We have with us Matt Friedman. He's the CEO of Mekong Club, and he's an international human trafficking expert. He's worked for and with United Nations Interagency Project and the United States Agency for International Development. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Matt Friedman.
Actually, when most people think about human trafficking, 4.8 million people in that situation, 15-year-old girls basically being forced to have sex 7,000, 8,000 times before they get a disease and die. It's a horrific thing. But in addition to that, there is another form of exploitation associated with modern slavery that we don't hear as much about, and that is forced labor, the forced working side of this. Now, when you think about sex trafficking, you're thinking about women and girls. When you think about forced labor, you're talking about women, girls, men, boys. Now, what I'm talking about happens in large numbers. The latest figure for modern slavery is 40 million people, of which 25 million of them are in forced labor circumstances. Now, there's a certain number of organizations out there that address this issue, like my organization. The reason I'm saying this as I talk about my organization is that we need unity. We need everyone to step up, accept the fact that we have a responsibility for addressing this, take some responsibility, and then get on with it. Because in the absence of that, we're at 0.2%. Thank you very much.
Next up, the panel of experts discussed the first topic of the conference, which is human trafficking, a bleak reality. Through this conference, Harmony Foundation created a platform for the youth to use their skills for the benefit of all strata of society and to educate and sensitize them about modern-day slave practices. The experts discussed the unethical practices regarding slavery still prevalent today and the steps to tackle and eliminate them completely.
The next in line we have are from Kurdish delegation. We have Hussein Al-Qaidi, the director of the Office of Rescuing Kidnapped Yazidis, which is a part of the Kyrgyzstan region President Office. Please put your hands together for Hussein Al-Qaidi and the interpreter for the day, Kayar Omer.
او زاروكت هاتنا قرتنش لا تيرورست داعش حمو هاتنا پروردكرن بدو شيوه فكري وشيوه براكتيكي.
The kids and the children who were adapted by ISIS, they have been brainwashed and they have been trained. I mean, they have been in a military training as well.
بشوي فكريك او فكره تيرورستي او فكره رش يا طاري السريوان زاروك هذا هاتا تشاندن نافيدوان هاتنا جوهرتن دينيوان هاتا جوهرتن يعني هندك شوان نزانن او كينا ونافيوان شو كوريت كينا وش كدرينا.
The ISIS changed their name, changed their religion. Some of them never know what was their name before, which family they belonged to, and what was their religion, and they put the black idea of ISIS into their mind.
او هاري كاريا ما هاتي كان وكو نبي سينغها رزقار كنا روانديا جناب كاك نشيرفان بارزاني بو كوبتني اوي هاري كاريا ما قريب لاين مادي ومعنوي بورزقار كنا او كسو كاريا ما ابيت دست تيرورست هذا.
The only person who helps us to rescue our family members, our people, is the president of Kurdistan region, Mr. Nechivan Barzani, the former prime minister of Kurdistan region. He helps us in terms of, he financed the whole process to rescue them.
اما كنا في سنغها رزقار كنا روانديا ام ديت بردوان بين سركاري هنديك وحطا اكس مابت الدست تيرورست هذا ام رزقار كين.
We as the office, we will continue our process till we rescue the last Yazidi.
The next in line we have with us Tushar Gandhi. He's the great-grandson of the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He renders selfless services in various rural development and social welfare programs. He's also the patron of the Harmony Foundation. Please put your hands together for Tushar Gandhi.
When we talk about trafficking, we think about trafficking for sexual businesses. But trafficking of intellect is even more insidious, because you never know you've been trafficked. Because to you, trafficking will be only if you come across a sex slave in a red light area. But what about all the slaves that we come across every day? We must, and I keep saying this, and I'm saying this because I'm talking to the youth. We must have a liberation movement in the education system itself. We must be liberated to decide how we are going to learn and what we are going to learn. Unless that happens, the very concept of slavery and trafficking will never be able be understood. Unless we all take responsibility for it and fight against it, beginning with the thought and the conviction, I will not be enslaved. I will not be trafficked. Thank you very much.
The second topic of the conference was forced labour, which is a common practice across all economic sectors in India. Our panel of experts discussed extensively about the different types of forced labour and about the people who are affected the most by it, as they tried to find a solution by giving their views on the different measures taken by the government about the problem on hand. The Harmony International Conference came to a close with a set of experts discussing forced organ harvesting, which is one of the most cruel forms of trafficking and slavery. Our panel of experts have Nobel Peace Prize winners from Medicine Sans Frontiers, along with doctors and surgeons from Doctors Against Forced Organ Harvesting, who concern themselves with ending the practice of coercive organ transplantation. On the other side, we bring you the Mother Teresa Memorial Awards. Stay tuned. Welcome back to this special episode of Harmony Foundation presents Mother Teresa Memorial Awards 2019 and Harmony International Conference on Combating Contemporary Forms of Slavery. After an engaging international conference, it is now time to honor these social crusaders. Mother Teresa Memorial Awards, with a 15-year legacy, recognizes excellence in the social sphere. It is the only award in the name of Mother Teresa which is recognized by the Missionaries of Charity.
With all due respect to the Nobel laureates for the wonderful work they do in pursuit of altruism, I'm reminded of the history of the Nobel Prize. Alfred Nobel was the one who invented the dynamite that is used for making lethal explosions, and in remorse during his last days, he bequeathed in his will the fortune he had amassed from this evil enterprise, which is now used as the prize money for Nobel. While on the other hand, this award in memory of Mother Teresa espouses her ethos of selflessness and virtues of compassion, as she was the epitome of social justice. Each year, Harmony Foundation identifies a theme that highlights the need of the hour affecting humanity worldwide. When we hear the word slavery, it can be easily dismissed as a relic, a crime from the history books, a shameful chapter of our past. Yet slavery is not merely a historic relic. Sadly, it is very much part of our world today. As the International Labour Organization, we have commemorated its centenary in October 2019. To assess its impact on social justice, the Harmony Foundation finalized this year's theme as combating contemporary forms of slavery, which is still a very real and a widespread phenomenon affecting more than 40 million people worldwide. According to the International Labour Organization report of 2016, it is estimated that there are currently 40 million victims of slavery today, with children making up a quarter of all the victims. Essentially, slavery in the current context refers to the situations of exploitation where a person cannot refuse or leave because of threats, violence, coercion, deception, or abuse of power. The global slave trade is so lucrative that today it's a $150 billion industry. About 90% of trafficking in India is internal, and the most vulnerable are the lower caste people and women and girls from the excluded groups. Baroness Caroline Cox, in her book, has humorously illustrated this hypocrisy very nicely, as she calls it touchable at night and untouchable in the morning. Harmony Foundation sets the stage today to tell the story of change makers who are joining forces to free innocent, naive, yet gullible and unsuspecting people from being tricked and trapped. It's a great pleasure to bring like-minded people from around the globe to call for the prohibition of the worst forms of human degradation and the eventual eradication altogether. Thank you very much for having come here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mathai. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we request Ms. Palasi to kindly join us on stage to present the award. To join her as well, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome on the stage His Excellency Guillermo E. Devoto, the Consul General of Argentina. We request Dr. Abraham Mathai to kindly join us on stage as well. We invite onto stage Sister Charmaine from Missionaries of Charity to kindly join us. Our first awardee this evening is Nobel laureate Mr. K. Satyarthi, but he is unable to be here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome on the stage Mrs. Asmita Satyarthi to kindly accept the award on behalf of her father. So ladies and gentlemen, as we move on to the next award, we welcome on the stage our presenters, Mr. Zainal Azlan Muhammad Nasdir, Consul General of Malaysia. We welcome Mr. Kanakaratnam, DG of Police. We welcome on the stage Dr. Abraham Mathai, and we invite Sister Charmaine from Missionaries of Charity to kindly join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the next award goes to an organization that is co-founded by an alumnus of Tata Institute of Social Sciences and renowned for its pioneering work of protecting children vulnerable to commercial sexual exploitation and trafficking in red light districts of Kamatipura, Falkland Road and Vashi, Turbe. Please welcome on the stage Mrs. Preeti Patkar to accept this award. A huge round of applause, please. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our next award this evening. To present, we welcome Mr. Guilherme de Aguirre Patriot, who is Consulate General of Brazil. We request Mr. Ashish Shelar to join us as well in presenting this award. We request Sister Charmaine to once again join us on stage. And we have Dr. Mathai with us on stage. Our next awardee has fought gallantly for 3 decades against trafficking by rescuing minors and second-generation prostitutes from giving continuity to the flesh trade. Please put your hands together as we welcome on the stage Mr. Ajit Singh. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward to the next award this evening, we welcome on the stage His Excellency, the Consulate General of New Zealand. Please put your hands together for Mr. Ralph Hayes. We invite Mr. P.C. Thomas, who's the former Union Minister, to kindly join us on stage. We invite on the stage from Missionaries of Charity. Please put your hands together for Sister Midad and Dr. Abraham Mathai. Our next noble and virtuous lady deserves to be saluted for her successful rescue and rehabilitation of over 72,000 women and children held as sex slaves and victims of child labor exploitation in northeast India and the neighboring regions. Please put your hands together as we welcome on stage Miss Hasina Karbi. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to present the next award, we now welcome on the stage His Excellency, the Consulate General of Islamic Republic of Iran. Please put your hands together for Mr. A.M. Ali Khani. We invite Sister Midad to kindly do us the honors and join us on stage again. And we invite Dr. Abraham Mathai. Ladies and gentlemen, bonded labor is still rampant in many parts of our country, and now our next organization aims to make sure that sentence is never said again. Please welcome on the stage Dr. Kiran Kamal Prasad. Ladies and gentlemen, to present the next award, I welcome on the stage the Cultural Secretary of Afghanistan. Please put your hands together for Mr. Shalik Ullah Ibrahim. We invite Sister Midad to join us on stage once again, joining Dr. Abraham Mathai as well. Ladies and gentlemen, when you think of human trafficking for sex, you would normally think of trapped girls and women, but our next awardee would ask you to think again. She is the founder of Urban Light, which has done incredible work of rescuing underage boys trafficked into Thai tourist spots to be exploited as sex slaves. Please put your hands together as we welcome on stage Alexandra Russell. We're going to move forward right now and welcome our next presenters to join us on stage. Please put your hands together as we welcome Naseem Siddiqui, who was the former chairman of State Minorities Commission. We also welcome on the stage Mr. Gul Kriplani, Honorary Consul General of Iceland, to do us the honors and join us on stage. We have with us Sister Medad and Dr. Mathai. Ladies and gentlemen, the next award goes to an organization that is renowned for its unique initiative of establishing the School of Justice, a pre-professional institution that enables underage minors rescued from brothels get into law school through a pre-legal training program and ultimately helps them to integrate into the workforce as lawyers. Please welcome on the stage Director and founder of Free a Girl. Please welcome Miss Evelyn Holskin. And now we're going to welcome on the stage our next presenters, Mr. Habib Faki, former member of Waqf Foundation, and Mr. Matt Friedman, CEO of Mekong Club. We welcome Sister Charmaine to kindly join us on stage and do us the honors. This one is to be honored for the outstanding work of reforming and rehabilitating thousands of child soldiers who have been rescued from armed groups, notably in the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Central African Republic. Please welcome on the stage Mr. Rob Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming on the stage our presenters of the next award. Joining us, we have Baroness Caroline Cox, founder Heart, to do us the honors and present this next award as well. Inviting Sister Charmaine to kindly join us on stage. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us now turn our undivided attention to a group of medical practitioners who have continued to uphold ethical practices in medicine, especially in the fight against forced organ harvesting. They have exposed horrendous, spine-chilling accounts of cold genocide, thought only to be fictional crimes. Please put your hands together for Darfur, Doctors Against Forced Organ Harvesting. Please put your hands together as we welcome on the stage Dr. Torsten Trey, the Executive Director of Darfur. Congratulations, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward to our final award, we welcome on the stage our presenters. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. R. Ramakrishnan, Chief Executive Officer, Polycab, to do us the honors. Joining us, ladies and gentlemen, is Baroness Caroline Cox. A loud round of applause. Thank you for joining us. We also have Sister Charmaine doing us the honors. So our final award this evening is in honor of an organization that has worked undauntedly to full capacity in the face of impossible circumstances and limited resources. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they had to confront the diabolic terrorist outfit ISIS and rescue those enslaved by them. Please put your hands together as we welcome on the stage the survivor, Miss Iman herself. It is because of all these voices that are raised that we know that we're going to move towards a safer world. We want to congratulate all our winners this evening. That was our final award this evening.